Hello everybody. Welcome to the webinar from IREB and iSQI. Thank you everybody for joining us today. My name is Sabrina Cordes and I'm working for iSQI as Key Account and Partner Manager, and I'm very happy that we've been able to organize this webinar. We are glad that we gained Stefan Sturm, the Managing Director of IREB, as the expert for this webinar. He will explain to you how IREB is bringing two worlds together by connecting requirements engineering with agile methodologies. The webinar shows how requirements engineering and agile go well together, and it discusses misconceptions. At the end of the webinar, the new certification RE Agile from IREB is briefly introduced to you. So I will start with giving you some general information about iSQI, who is one of the international certification bodies of IREB. Afterwards, I will hand over to Stefan Sturm. Please feel free to ask questions by using the chat or question function during the webinar, and we will be happy to answer all your questions right after the presentation. For those who haven't been in contact with iSQI before, I will give you some facts and figures at the beginning. So iSQI has been founded in 2004 in Potsdam, Germany, and now we have 3 subsidiaries worldwide, in the Netherlands, in the UK, and also in the US. Until today, we conducted over 130,000 exams on 6 continents in 90 countries and 10 languages. In total, we are working together with over 300 invigilators who are conducting exams for us globally. Before I hand over to Stefan Sturm, I would like to explain the cooperation model between IREB, the certification bodies, and the training providers to you. So the cooperation is based on the certification process ISO 17024, which divides the responsibilities of each party strictly. So IREB is responsible for publishing and maintaining the curriculum, the glossary, and also the certification procedure for all IREB certifications. The certification test is conducted by the certification bodies like iSQI. And it's important for you to know that IREB does not conduct trainings. The international training providers are responsible for that. They develop the training material and conduct the trainings based on the syllabus. So now I will hand over to Stefan Sturm. Enjoy the webinar. Please consider it can take a few seconds until you hear him.
So here we go. This is Stefan Sturm from the IREB. Can you hear me? Sabrina, please let me know whether you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. All right, my name is Stefan Sturm. I'm the Managing Director of the IREB company, and I'm giving you a webinar about the future of requirements engineering in an agile context today. RE Agile. This webinar is based on talks of Kim Lauenroth, the first chair of IREB, and Markus Meuden, the head of RE Agile working group. They have given the talk a few times, and they were kind enough to give me the slides, and I did some modifications to fit it to this webinar. So before I go into the topic, a few words about me. My name is Stefan Sturm. I'm the Managing Director of the IREB GmbH based in Germany. The IREB GmbH is the limited operating company of the not-for-profit IREB Association. All shares are owned by the IREB Association, so there are no private shares. It's 100% non-profit. And the IREB company, GmbH, is responsible for organizational support of the board, the working groups. We deal with all the associate members, and we are doing a lot of marketing activities. We are coordinating with our partners, training providers, certification bodies like iSQI. All right, the agenda for today. RE is indispensable. Of course, IREB's position is that RE is a very, very important topic, but Agile brings new aspects, and now we need to see whether it's RE or Agile, where are the differences, are there misunderstandings, pitfalls, and is there a way where RE and Agile can go together? And you might bet my answer will be yes. RE and Agile, the best of two worlds, the certification I will introduce very briefly at the end. So requirements engineering is indispensable. We all have experienced RE as a valuable discipline. If we want to be successful in our endeavors, requirements engineering is indispensable because computers are good at following instructions, but not yet at reading your mind. How shall we know what to build without thinking about it before we build it? Very simple. And it can become very costly when RE is not performed well. Check the statement from Fred Brooks. Here, the core parts. No other part of the conceptual work is as difficult as establishing the detailed technical requirements. And over here, no other part is as difficult to rectify later. So requirements engineering is indispensable as well when doing things agile. This is very important. Nevertheless, projects fail even if we do RE. Or is it perhaps because of the way we are doing RE? The goal cannot be to create huge piles of documentation, and it never has been, by the way. RE is not the reason for comprehensive documentation. It only has been used in processes which are producing a lot of documentation, waterfall, V-model. There RE has been applied and is part of these processes, but it's not RE which forces you to create huge piles. RE of documentation, of course. RE can as well be applied in processes which do only create small amounts of documentation. Of course, Agile brings new aspects into software and product development. You might know the Agile Manifesto and its statements, but there have been and still are misunderstandings. Have a look at the red ellipse at the bottom. While putting more emphasis on the items on the left of the manifesto, the items on the right are still valuable. In the Agile community, this is neglected very often. Nobody has said that we do not need documentation, tools or plans. We just value the left side more. Look here. It's only valuing more the left side than the right side. Nevertheless, the right side remains important. That's what you see at the bottom. Well, there's value in the items on the right side. Nobody said there's no value in documenting or having a plan or following a process. So the most common misunderstanding in Agile are that Agile means no tools and no processes anymore, and that Agile means no need for documentation anymore. This is not true. So is it RE or is it Agile? Can it go together? Where are the problems? Let me discuss a few misunderstandings. The first one, very often heard, is RE equals upfront work and upfront is evil. So very often RE is considered to be possible only as an upfront activity, but RE as a discipline is in fact process agnostic, does not state anything like this. Instead, the activities of RE can be performed within an Agile context in the same way as other activities like coding or testing. RE just needs to be integrated in the iterations. And preparing for iterative development is an essential part of any development undertaking. Upfront thinking does not itself imply any particular software lifecycle or lengthy analysis phase or documentation. When and how much upfront thinking is performed will be determined by the project context. Very important. The project context gives you a guideline. How much upfront thinking do you need? How much do you need to do in advance? What can be done during and needs to be done during the iterations? I will come back later to that on a very important slide. So practitioners should not interpret the Agile literature in a way that upfront thinking is bad in itself. The manifesto and the principles presented in the manifesto do not support such an understanding. And again, what I want to point out is, first, upfront is not evil, and RE is not always upfront. Some work might be before, but then many things are done during the iterations. Okay. The next misunderstanding, I already had this example where I asked whether we are doing RE perhaps in the wrong way. Misunderstanding is requirements engineers produce, perhaps useless, paper documentation. And RE is often associated only with the document it produces. However, the documents are only one result of RE, of an activity that creates knowledge, and that's the important thing. Good requirements engineering includes to be aware of the fact that documentation is never an end in itself. Instead, documents serve to support legal compliance, preservation of valuable information, facilitation of communication, and it supports the thought process. Let me give you an example. Have you ever created a glossary in your project? A glossary is a very powerful tool because having the terms defined correctly helps to understand each other. First, you need to have, not first, in the end, you will have a document where all the terms are defined. But the process of defining the terms and discussing with the team members, with the stakeholders, what they understand with a certain term. This is a process which creates a common knowledge in the team about these terms. So in the end, there's a document, a glossary, but the activity of creating the glossary creates knowledge, and that's valuable, and that's part of requirements engineering. So while in some process-heavy projects, overspecification might be an issue, of course, too big and too many documents, it's not right to conclude that all documentation is worthless. Requirements documentation is, in the proper context, valid and necessary, just like design documentation, test documentation, or operational documents. And besides the misunderstanding, there are pitfalls, of course. One of these is that all requirements are user stories. We are working with user stories and we are done. But user stories are only one popular method for capturing stakeholder needs. They are not intended to they are intended, of course, they are intended to start communication and not to represent the complete specification. The path from an unspecific need towards a full requirement is summarized in a practice called 3C, COD, Conversation Confirmation. And a much fuller picture of requirements can be achieved through a combination of user stories with approved RE techniques such as context diagrams, prototyping, use cases, and user journeys. So yes, user stories are important, but it's only one method of capturing stakeholder needs. It's not the complete picture. Another pitfall, losing the big picture. Agile methods are often misunderstood and implemented in a way that focuses only on the topics that are immediately in front of the team. What is in the next sprint? What is in the next loop, in the next iteration? But if everybody only focuses on the work at hand, the big picture and long-term perspective gets lost. So sustainable agile methods address long-term and mid-term perspectives within dedicated sessions like refinement sessions, road mapping sessions, or visioning workshops. So this means what the image shall demonstrate, not standing too close to your task and taking a bit step back and have an overview to get the long-term perspective as well. So how are RE and Agile going together? Are they siblings, friends, or how does it fit to each other? Let's have a look at the Agile principles, and we have defined some RE principles there as well. The first Agile principle is that the highest priority is to satisfy customer through early and continuous delivery. I need to get rid of that laser pointer here, sorry. Come on. Okay, again, our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. And RE provides the relevant understanding of the stakeholders' desires and needs to develop valuable software. And Agile facilitates fast and continuous delivery, so it goes well together, applying RE and Agile. Check. The second principle. Change is welcome in Agile, of course. This is one of the core concepts, that you are able to change things quickly and react very quickly. And in heavyweight processes, change is not welcome at any point in time. Change does always mean effort and money to spend. But RE has no problem in changing requirements even late in the development. RE provides the proper tools to recognize changes and, of course, to track changes and to do impact analysis for these changes. And Agile implements these changes in the fastest possible way, goes properly together. The fourth principle. Business people and developers must work together daily throughout the project. So this is about communication, having very good communication, collaboration between business and developers. And RE, in the end, it's all about communication, collaboration between stakeholders, and there are tools and methods which facilitate that. And Agile utilizes this collaboration to deploy running product increments without comprehensive documentation. Goes very well together. And last but not least, the sixth principle. The most efficient and effective method of conveying information is a face-to-face conversation. Again, RE is about collaboration and communication. And Agile values this principle very much. Fits together perfectly. To summarize, RE and Agile share the same goal of the delivery of quality software. And agility makes software development efficient and fast, and RE makes software development effective by providing techniques to understand stakeholders' desires and needs to develop things. But how much RE do we need? And this is perhaps, from my perspective, one of the most important slides in this talk. It all comes down to risk. This is the question you need to answer in your context. To answer that, you need to identify the risks in your project. There are many risks: missing deadlines, time cost overruns, safety and security issues, customer and stakeholder satisfaction, very important, time to market, missing deadlines, I already mentioned. So many things which are creating risk. And now you need to decide how much RE you need to apply. And in the end, the answer is quite easy. Nevertheless, it's difficult to to identify for you in your current in your concrete situation. The more or the higher the risks are, the more effort you need to spend into requirements engineering. Very obvious. If there's a high risk to injure somebody or to hurt somebody, and this is very likely to happen, and so the risk means the probability of something happening multiplied by the resulting cost. We don't look at the benefit at this point in time. It's about the cost. So sometimes you can't take the risk. So you need to spend more effort into requirements engineering to be sure that you are addressing the risk and that you can ensure by your measures, by identifying more acceptance criteria, specifying more acceptance criteria, and doing the proper tests with it. There you address the risk, and that's very simple. The higher the risk, the more effort you need to spend in RE. Okay, let's come to the RE Agile certification. RE Agile, what is it? It is IREB's vision to link the two worlds of requirements engineering and Agile by bringing the real benefits from Agile processes together with proven RE methods and techniques. It's a future perspective for requirements engineers, BAs, and CPRE holders in an Agile context. And as I mentioned already before, this is the third bullet point. It transfers the proven tool set for RE into Agile world in order to improve Agile development and to make it more sustainable. So the next slide is showing how RE and Agile certification fits into the existing certification landscape of the CPRE. At the bottom, the blue box, the CPRE foundation level. There are no prerequisites to go for the CPRE foundation level. This is the existing one. And the RE Agile primer, which is already available for download. I will show you in a few seconds the download page. Is kind of add-on to the foundation level, giving you the advice how requirements engineering and Agile fits together. And yeah, I'll go in depth into that on the next slide. Let's leave it with that for the moment. On top of that, we do have the advanced level modules. These are the three existing advanced level modules where the foundation level is a prerequisite. And there will be an RE Agile advanced level module as well. We will most likely publish it in September this year. And I will compare the primer with the advanced level on the next slide. Just to make it complete, there will be a CPRE expert level which shall as well be launched in summer this year, most likely as well September, so perhaps it's fall, not summer anymore. Hopefully we still have some summer left there. And for the expert level, we have prerequisites. Either you hold 3 advanced level modules, but you can substitute up to 2 of them. So in the end, for sure, you need to have 1 of the advanced level modules, and you can substitute the others by being a trainer or having a bachelor in systems engineering or doing talks on conferences or whatever. We want to show you, see your expertise, or having, let's say, a CBAP certificate from IREB would do the job as well. So this is still to be defined. We are currently in the test phase of the exams, and so this will be launched pretty soon. And then the RE Agile advanced level will work in the same way as the other advanced level. And as well for the RE Agile advanced level, the foundation level, CPRE foundation level, is a prerequisite, because if you want to go into depth how to apply requirements engineering in an agile context, then for sure you need to know the foundation level content. But it's not a prerequisite for the primer, and that's the reason is, I'm showing you here. In the primer, all the topics are covered on a level, a knowing level, which is the level 1 of the Dreyfus matrix. So we give you an introduction, we give you the mindset, the values, misunderstanding and pitfalls on requirements engineering in Agile. We talk a bit about Agile processes, but not in depth. We are not doing a Scrum course or whatever here. We only give you what you need to know in order to understand how RE is applied in such a context. And then we are talking about scaling, because having small projects with only a few developers is not that difficult than if you have bigger projects with 20, 50 or even bigger teams of people, developers. So scaling is for sure an issue in Agile, and as well requirements engineering might be applied different in this context. So this is about knowing. This is not on a hands-on level. The reason is that we want to address that to pure Agile professionals out there, to give them an understanding how they can use requirements engineering methods and techniques in a valuable way. And we want to give the existing RE professionals out there the possibility to understand how they can bring their expertise into Agile world. As well, it's addressing managers who face the problems that they are doing Agile product development now, and they don't know how does it fit with their RE processes, and this shall give them the overview that they understand how it can go together. But it's not on the hands-on level. Going to the advanced level, the box at the bottom, this is on a mastering level, as all advanced levels are. So this is really hands-on information about how to deal with goals, stakeholders, scope, and especially in the Agile context then, how to elicit functional requirements, how to elicit quality requirements, often as well called non-functional requirements, about priority and estimating requirements, and again about scaling of requirements engineering and development. How do you scale that? And this is on a hands-on practical level. All right, so I'm at the end of my talk, and I'm open for questions. Just something I wanted to show you was the download. Just give me a second, I already prepared that. If you go to the IREB website, to the downloads, here on the top right, you will find the downloads, and then there is a filter on the right-hand side. If you filter for RE Agile Primer, you will see this entry here, and there you can download, sorry, this is the exam regulations. Below, this is the primer. There's the English version. The German version is in preparation. It's almost done, but we need to do some lecturing on it. Still, the special thing about the Agile Primer is that it's a syllabus and a study guide at the same time, where in the other modules we only have a syllabus and then handbooks or a book, which are separated documents. In the primer we do have a syllabus which gives you the learning objectives and the content at the same time, and therefore it's a bit more comprehensive. So you can use that one for self-study, for example. Okay, so, and this is the link here as well. And here you can see the communication details, email addresses, if you have further questions after the webinar. Excuse me. So now I'm not handing back to Sabrina, because I want to be able to move through the slides if somebody has a question to a specific slide, and yeah, we can enter into the Q&A.
Yes.
Sabrina, please.
Thank you, Stefan, for this interesting presentation. It was very good. And yeah, as Stefan already said, now you have the possibility to ask your questions. So please use the question function to do that. And we already received the first questions. So the first one is, how will RE at Agile add value to somebody who has CBAP already from IIBA?
With the CBAP, it's CBAP is on a different level than the IREB certification. It's let's say on a BA process level, defining all the BA process steps and giving you, let me say, some superficial knowledge about requirements